Mama, how do you do? Hey, what's up? Baba, how do you do? Hey, what's up? Sister, how you do? Hey, what's up? Brother, how you do? Hey, what's up? Yeah, Shabab. My name CJ Human. Yeah, Shabab. Anatani Hindi Kalam. Speaking of Sudan, there is salam, there is aman. In South Sudan, there is salam, there is aman. Manaya Gali, the Junubin Gali, there is salam. Ai, Manaya Weri, the Kuluzul Gali, there is salam. Salam to Biladi, Farah Nijman. للملي أهلي للكريم اسمعنا سلام في بلادي فرح يا ربي يضم لي أهلي الكريم اسمعني من يروسلم كلنا هنا سلام أين ماما ماما يروسلم أين جنة جنة يروسلم Selim Lomon, Baba Selim Lomon, Selim Lomon, Baba Selim Lomon. Yeah, 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 yeah. No, 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 Junubi, Mr. Sawa, Junubi, Gene Sawa, Junubi, Missy Muslimi, Junubi, yes, Umuatini, Junubi, Dakatra, Mahandisi, Junubi, Musafi, Musiasi, Junubi, Musari, Musayadi, Junubi, Mugizawa, السلام بوحده بأمان للسلام يحسين للسلام للسلام يحسين للسلام للسلام مشتاقين أنا يروسلم كلنا هنا سلام أين ماما ماما يروسلم أين جانا جانا يروسلم سلم لومون ماما سلم لومون سلم لومون ماما سلم لومون yeah 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 no 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 Mama, how do you do? Hey, what's up? Baba, how do you do? Hey, what's up? Sister, how you do? Hey, what's up? Brother, how you do? Hey, what's up?
Hello, hello, Nile Nation Network. Good to you. Good to see you again. And just bear with us. We're gonna give you another song, and we will start our program. So today we will keep it brief a little bit. We're not gonna exceed too much out. We're not gonna go like really like for 4 hours that we do every time. And I would like to say welcome to Suleiman Dandara, the ambassador Welcome. Thank you to see you. And if you want to jump in, we have the link there. You can come in, no problem. Because our topic today, I think the technician, if you can put our topic in the banner, that will be good. I'm gonna give you another song, and please, every time we give a song, and also welcome Jeremiah. Thank you for coming in. Every time we play a song, please listen to it carefully. Like this song here, I want you guys to listen to the words that the artists really are trying to put out there. Um, just listen to the words. It's very useful. So let me share with you another song. Bear with us. We're gonna start with our topic momentarily. Thank you so much, our viewers. And later on, when we start, I will introduce those who are in the show today with us. Okay. خليني ألعب أغنية تانية. وخليكم معانا وحنبدأ يعني في خلال دقائق، ما فيش مشكلة، عشان نشارك معاكم الموضوع بتاع النهاردة.
And vivid studio. Selector Isaka. Phantom. Best production. What I mean, you know, lady. And I believe you want to get back. Lady, you know what I mean. And I believe you want to get back. What I mean, you know, lady. And I believe you want to get back. Lady, you know what I mean. And I believe you want to get back. Ina salamu dola tanina mama dola adunya kulu mutele kelina salamu dola tanina yakwane dola alalam kulu mutele rabuna wadi kulu fogo kera albishibu bele galiane rabuna wadi kulu fogo kera mama kera albishibu bele galiane kanina kobru dola de makel bankwel dola de fikundo dalgowi Ina cobra dola de magueto quest, dola de mundo dalgovi, you know beledi, ana beli kumba kugen basai, beledi, you know what I mean, ana beli kumba kugen basai, what I mean, you know beledi, ana beli kumba kugen basai, beledi, you know what I mean, ana beli kumba kugen basai. Kanita gihiku bele take nita beshaka koko bekulu gemba obe amana Kamina karabu dola jemi de makera kawa mabikun pues Kamina karabu bele dia fa de makera kawa mabikun pues Rabuna behasi bonina ya kwani kanina mabisu bele de Rabuna behasi bonina mama kanina mai belete Stia tabelete kanina lulu sawa sawa Ya putu bala kanina mama Sadoma de mirabu Juno beledi Anabihibu makugel bakai Beledi Juno watani Anabihibu makugel bakai Watani Juno beledi Anabihibu makugel bakai Beledi Juno watani Anabihibu makugel bakai Mata dola de que tile nina kagesi musawa sawa bitimu. Erata bele de ki fayale nina kagesi musawa sawa bitimu. Mata geni zulu mapana dola de kanina sawa. Mata zulu mapana dola de kanina sawa. Elipa ke birde sunute Bekabu daula kanina Elwa kamade kasuno Bisiku bele kabiraba. Watane juno beledi Anabelibu makuge bakai Beledi juno watane Anabelibu makuge bakai Watane juno beledi Anabelibu makuge bakai Beledi juno watane Anabelibu makuge.
Hello, Nile Nation viewers. Good to see you again. Our topic today, if just people on the control, if they can just put it up there. Actually, it's the issues affecting upcoming election in South Sudan for the year 2020. Our topic today, we're going to be talking about the issues affecting coming election in South Sudan for the year 2023. For the year 2023. Um, and of course, let me just here uh, say hi to Nile Nation viewers. Thank you so much for coming in, and thank you for coming in, Jeremiah, William Goldit, Mabor, and also Simon in control there. And again, we will say hi to Ambassador Suleiman Dandara. Welcome. So uh, عايزين نقول لكم انه احنا موضوع النهارده هنتكلم عن المشاكل التي تعيق بالانتخابات بجنوب السودان اللي جايه في سنه 2023. احنا كنايل نيشن نتورك حسينا انه اكيد في مشاكل، ولحد النهارده الانتخابات اللي المفروض يكون جاي في سنه 2023 احنا ما شايفين يعني في شنو الماشي في ارض الواقع. عشان كده عايزين نتكلم عنه، و يعني عشان اهلنا يبقى منورين. يعني احنا بنتكلم عن انتخابات يعني حزب مثلا زي SPLM in government. لو انتم شايفين في مدار السنة كلها يعني عاملين تنظيمات وأنشطة هون، وكمان المؤسسات الشبابية بالاس بي ال ام. يعني كله شفنا في ناس عملوا قسم وعشان شنو يكونوا كوادر يعني لاس بي ال ام. يعني هم مجهزين، لكن بقيه الاحزاب ما في حاجه كده واضح يعني انشطه بيقوموا بهم. We know that people talking about election coming in 2023, but we don't see much that has been done. We see maybe the SPLM in government. They have a lot of activities going on there in the states, and also we see a lot of youth cadres was being trained, and also some of them taking oath to be loyal to SPLM. Uh, Even though sometimes I see like there is some threat, if you don't follow the rule, there will be stolity measures that have to be done. But we want to talk about election today. South Sudan is still thinking of doing election in 2023, but we don't see a lot of things that's supposed to be done are not done yet. And for that reason, we have uh, the team here. The team are here, and we're going to be talking about it. So first of all, let's look at it first in this way. I think today's show we're gonna keep it brief, within 2 hours if possible. We will love to do that. But let us start here. Like, really, let us think about this. First of all, we want to think about what is election. What is election? Do you think our people understand it? ما هي الانتخابات؟ وهل تعتقد انه يعني اهلنا بلدياتنا الجنوبيين فاهمين معنى الانتخابات؟ هل عندنا وعي ثقافي عن الانتخابات؟ ولا الانتخابات ما مفهوم خالص، واحنا عايزين ندخل في انتخابات واحنا مش فاهمينه ذاته؟ So we need to talk about election. What is election? Do you think our people understand the election itself? Not the word, the process, the procedure, how to conduct ourselves, things like that. And we have Mabor, William, Jeremiah, and any of you, our viewers, if you want to come in, we dropped the link there already. You can come in and share with us. But with no further ado, let us start by this way. If William can really, I think you are unmuted already, and tell us what is election, and also do our people understand what is election mean? So William Goldit, you have your chance right there, while Babur and Jeremiah also getting ready to answer the same question. Please feel free, speak in Arabic, speak in English. If William goes in English, Jeremiah can do it in Arabic, no problem, because it's going to be the same question. Please, William Goldie, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. In political science, there is something called social contracts. Social contracts. And there is also the book I read is saying, the title is, Should we consent to be governed? Okay. So social contracts is between the people who are in one country that want to have understanding how to live their life, how to govern themselves. Because the system of leadership we don't find it in the community, but we find it at home first. Start with home. So his Bible said that the head of the house is a man, the head of the house. So what does that head do? It manages the affairs of the house, of the family. So that is right there, a ruling or a leadership. And then who are you leading? Is the household members, it's your children, your wife. So is a responsibility. So when we come to community, we come with that leadership from home to the community. And then now the community, of course, is composed of many families. So there must be a social contracts. يعني إن في عقد اجتماعي بين المجتمع كيف إننا نحكم بعضنا. فإني إذا أننا متفقين طبعا عادة الأشياء الموضوعية اللي هو مثلا الأشياء المهم عشان حياتنا قول موية أو شغل أرض وأشياء اجتماعية كثيرة جدا لازم نتفق عليهم. فإني لابد أن نختار شخص who will take over the leadership of the community and who will protect the social contracts we all have agreed upon. So here the election is very important here. And that person, when we elect a person, we are actually electing ourselves. Because I know Pale or Jeremiah is the one who will do this job. So I'm now casting my vote by electing somebody who I know he will do what I want, what the community agreed upon as a social contract. Okay. So now you are exercising your civic duties or your civic right. So yes, so election is important because there is a community and there is a social contract that combine the people or that bind the people why they should live together and how to protect themselves, how to protect their own affairs. So مهم كتير إنه يكون في election. So when you electing somebody, you are actually appointing somebody to do the work people agreed upon. So to answer if our people understand, of course, نينا في افريقيا او في جنوب السودان اننا صعب الديمقراطيه. يمكن انا ذكرت كذا مره اذا كان قبائل جنوب السودان كلهم ما في شيء بيتم تحت الطاوله، كل اي شيء بيتم تحت الشجره، الرجال كله بيكونوا موجودين. لما يتم انتخاب بيتم بوجود الناس كله بتاع القريه كلهم. For they are aware. ولكن الشعب بتاع جنوب السودان is not aware now with this modern governing system. We are not aware because it is important when we transform, the transformation come with education. So you can adapt, you can cope with a new system you find yourself in. So you evolve with the time, you know. So our people who are the government, since already we established the government, which was not there before, that is from 2011, after the referendum and after independence, we should have a public education to mobilize our people how to adjust themselves into the modern society. But until now, they are not informed how it works. They are not yet informed because I didn't see it that it happened. But if we're talking about traditional election, they are owner of that. But the modern elections, they are not aware of that. So if we're talking about a modern election, they are not aware. But if we're talking about traditional election, they are aware. They know that. Thank you.
But William, before you go, uh, so you mentioned something about the traditional and the modern election and things like that. But don't you think that the traditional election, uh, uh, I think as we talk now, we need to go with the modern election because with the traditional election, with the hatred that we see, no political understanding was in the South Sudanese and things like that. So it's bring enmities. Like if you like the traditional one, let's say for example, those who are contesting, they will stand up in the front and people will line up behind them, or we go into the rooms, like say recently, and then we kind of try to do the show of hand. And we know that this show of hand, that is what I think brought SPLM to chaos, when some were saying, no, let's do show of hand. And some were saying, no, 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 that is not modern. Let's do it by secret ballot, and that bring a chaos, and that is what brought us to this now. So do you think, like currently, even though we know the traditional, but what do you recommend at this time?
Yeah. Let us take the example of Indians. Indian is a non-English country, right? It has been colonized, and English brought their system. But what the Indian people did is to accommodate the traditional value, whether the leadership style or leadership principle, which are traditional, to incorporate them into the moderns that have been imported on them. They didn't say we have to get rid of the system that the colonial government imported on India. They didn't, but they have to get rid of what is not okay and keep what is okay to develop the society. So the imported principle and the traditional, they have been incorporated or accommodated together. So that's why today you see Indian is the largest countries with a population in the world after China. They are more democratic than many countries, you know. So they didn't get rid of their traditional system. So they carry it because you cannot change overnight. You cannot change. انت ما ممكن تغير في ليله واحد او في سنه. For a traditional principle هو انت مولود فوقه. فانت لما تجي انت تمشيه مع النظام الجديد انت تقدر توافق بين النظامين. Okay, but in Africa today, like what you said, Pell, when our leader fought about you should raise hand or not, they were talking to themselves. They were not talking to the people of Southern Sudan. Because if they are really a servant, if they assume the position to be servant, they have to value the public opinion. The public opinion is supposed to tell them what they want through the parliament. Okay? But they were just individuals who are official of the government, and then they fought, and then they took us where we are today. So the decision of what the election should look like, it shouldn't be discussed in presidential palace. It should be discussed in the parliament. And the parliament represents the people. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, William. Before I give Mabor or Jeremiah the chance also to answer the same question, which what is election? And do you think our people understand it or understand the election? Before you answer, I would like to say thank you here to Michael Uthor. He say that is a good question. Thank you so much, Michael, for your support. And yeah, keep supporting us. That will give us the momentum so we can try to produce more for our people. Thank you so much. And also, Tayin Gadramedit. Tayin Gadramedit, he was saying, you got to be kidding. Election is not possible under Kiir and Machar. Anyway, so I saw somebody respond to him here from the Nation Network that Tayin, hey, you can come in. The link is dropped there. You can come in and explain that. But what I can just say now, you know, it's people like to confuse themselves. If we are talking about election, and we know currently, uh, Salva Kiir, he is the president. Uh, he got five vice presidents, and then there is a first vice president, which is Riek Machar, and the rest. So I think if we are talking about election 2023, 2023, yes, and we know that it's just around the corner. It's just 2021 between us, and people should be going for election. So, do you know if they have a plan of resigning from their positions? I don't think so. But also at the same time, we don't know what future holds, right? We don't know if they're going to be with us in 2023. No one know, even all of us, who's going to be there in 2023. So, regardless, it's going to be Salva Kiir or Young Machar. Election will be done under them, or new people. We don't know. But there is more bigger issues that we need to talk about, bigger than Salva Kiir and bigger than Riek Machar and bigger than everybody else. We as a nation of South Sudan, if we want to go for election, there is certain things that need to be put in order for us to have a fair and peaceful election. And that is what we are talking about. If you want to come in, come in. Tayin Gadramedi. So if that is a real name, Gadra Medid, yeah, I think there is no Gadra method. Everybody is Gadra Medid anyway. Okay, so yeah, and guys, I will try to keep up with your comments, but sometime if it didn't grab my attention the way I'm thinking about it, so probably I will skip that because we have a very limited time today. شكرا جزيلا ويليام لجواب بتاعك وخلينا ننتقل لجرمايا. Jeremiah, you can speak in Arabic or English. It's up to you. Okay. So the same question, Jeremiah. What is election? And do you think our people understand election? I think you're paying attention too much. My volume is not clear.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Paul and William Goldie, Wolke Mobor, and those watching.
I think this is a very deep question, and it might not be having more to say about. What is election? Election is a procedure of finding a leader based on democratic system of principle, which has to deal with the numbers, high numbers against low numbers. It's a game of numbers. Whether it is a community election, it is a governmental election, or any form of election, it is just a process or procedures of getting person in charge among many candidates. This is how I define it. This is my definition. It's just a process. Now, when we say this question, when you had this question, do you think our people understand the election? Yes, I believe so. They understand the election because they voted twice before in South Sudan, and even some had been voting in former Sudan. In general term, people are aware about election, but what people do not understand is the requirement for the election and the atmosphere of the election and procedures and process of the election. They there is a gap. What I am seeing in the context of South Sudan, there is different understanding pertaining election in South Sudan. SPLM has its own interpretation of the election, SPLM ruling party, based on their interests. Citizens of South Sudan, they have own or they have their own expectation out of the election, and other parties they have the same. So interpretation of the election in South Sudan, people are not on one page when it comes to it. But people knows, our citizens they knows there is election, they know it very well, but they don't know the hidden agenda of the SPLM. Whether it's gonna be good for them or not good for them, they are not aware about it. Because we have been seeing now one party campaigning, and other parties they have no room for campaign. So this is these are the symptoms, or these are indication that the expecting or expected election will never meet international or regional standard. It will be on a standard not of South Sudan, but will be at the standard of the SPLM ruling party. And this is what I can say because the question is brief. It's supposed to be just 1 minute. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jeremiah. Uh, we can look in a different corner. Could be different angles. Yeah, the question could be big, and also to some people could be very simple, right? As you guys talk about it, it's just we are trying to look at all corners, right? And that is what we want. Like really, we don't want to stick to the dictionary explanation. Election is a procedure of bringing people to power and things like that. So I want us to be free to speak about election and things like that. So thank you so much. All your answer, I think I will not say that there is a wrong answer. All of them is good. It's just we need to really to look at let our people think out of the box, right? So don't narrow yourself to. Before I give chance to Mabor Welkong, I see here there is somebody put a website uppernile.org. I look at it, it say it's just I don't know, maybe trying to promote their movement or something like that. It say Upper Nile Liberation Front. It's a website. I think you guys can go and take a look at it. And I hope it should be something good because our country is torn down, man. Lot of movement going on, lot of things going on. I think like if the ruling party is not taking us to the right direction, I think all of us we like people need to unite together and work together instead of everybody creating their own and things like that. But anyway, I just saw it now. I Google it. Gadluak Red. I almost have my middle name there. It's me, Pal Red, but it's Galwak Red, not me. And probably he's not maybe close to me. Anyway, so the website is Upper Nile Liberation Front, something like that. And also, I just look at a few individuals here that also make their comment. Okay, I don't know where are they. Somebody was saying, "You say Dinka election?" No, I didn't say Dinka election. There is nothing called Dinka election. It's a South Sudanese election, but we have 46 tribes, and we need all these tribes to play a role. But that's why we are here now. Maybe we share the same vision. That's why we are here to talk about it. Is really the election is going to be inclusive, or some of us will be left out if it's happened. Okay, so that is another thing there. Somebody else made a comment. Where is it? Where is it? I think it's okay. I don't see it now. Okay, no election in 2023, 100% sure. Okay, that is your view. We will see. Okay, so anyway, I don't know. Let me go to Mabur Welcome here. Okay, Mabur, what is your take on that question? What is election? Do you think our people understand election?
Thank you. I greet all of you, and I greet uh, those who are in the audience and those who are in the podium. So please, I will ask to share it. So if you don't want to come in and contribute, so maybe someone will be interesting to contribute that we can find something on that person mass, because now is a way to make sure we we collect ideas that should give us way forward. Thank you. So yes, do South Sudanese know election or have an idea for election? Yes, they do. They do have an idea that election should be, but the point that does not pursue the ideas is the form of the dictatorship that pile up within the country, and it's the way I see it is like a Sonitarian's country, as I'm talking to today, because the country is not even even we are just putting this thing, and there are the people who want that election should go in 2013, 2023, which is a very great formula that should be done. But the point is that there is what they call it peace agreement. If peace agreement, the first step and the second step have not yet implemented. So how on earth you said I will be uh, selling my fruit while you have not yet cultivated the garden? How do you will sell something that is not even uh, uh, bear fruit yet? The fruit, how do you will sell them? And while the fruit have not yet bear from the tree. What I put into that example is if the security arrangement is not yet done, how the election should go. So I
Uh, so, like, yeah, that will come into my second question. Unless if you just want to go, it's just simply if you answer the first question, that will be great. Because what is election, and do you think our people understand the election? That is what I need some description from you right there. But the second question maybe will come and you will answer that question.
yes, they have an idea for election, but uh, uh, the the form of the way dictate them.
Okay. Thank you so much. I would say also here, welcome Abel Kohn. It was a long time no see. We are talking about election. If you want to jump in, why not, right? And I see here, James Chua, your question. If you looked at it, it was answered by Otto Kur Awang. Thank you so much for answering his question. It's a lengthy question and things like that, and we have a lot to cover, and we have only 2 hours today. Okay, brother Abelko, let me mute you right there, or you can mute yourself. Yeah. Okay, right there. Thank you, brother Abelko. So now, uh, Mabur, you give us your answer. Thank you so much, and things like that. Of course, I mentioned to you, to our viewers, we want to keep it within 2 hours time because we realize our audience also who are going to watch it tomorrow and few years to come. At least they need to also they can give themselves 2 hours to watch what we are saying here, as Otto answer there. This is we are looking out of the box and we are looking to the future. So at least to educate our people right there. So the second question. Welcome, Abel Kohn, but let's go to the second question. And the second question, I think, is going to be lengthy a little bit when any one of you will be giving their take on it. Uh, what does it take to have a fair and peaceful election؟ يعني ايه هي اللي احنا محتاجين له عشان يكون عندنا انتخابات سليم وعادل، او انتخابات مسالم وعادل في نفس الوقت. What do we need? Okay, so sorry. Okay. Sorry, somebody is calling me. Sorry, whoever is calling, I'm not sure if you want to come in. Please, you can find the link right there and try to come in, please. Yeah. So anyway, so the second question: what does it take to have a fair and peaceful election? Mabur, what does it take for us to have a fair and peaceful election? Regardless, leave alone election is going to happen in 2023 or is not going to happen. That is not what we are talking about. But do we have what it takes really at all time, at any time that we can have election? Do we have what it takes? Go ahead, Mabo.
Yes, indeed, it do have something that can make the election 2006, the 2023, uh, because I touched something in the last question, in the first question, that security arrangement that secure you and secure me, right? Secure you and secure me as a country, not as an individual, you know, as a country, not as a individual. Because in this whole entire world, every country have their own personal crimes that can be committed by an individual. Someone that maybe you got an argument in a tea place, and then when he see you doing a good job on a campaign, he might hate you for that. Someone that have eagers on your campaign that seen you like you will defeat another person that he admired for, yes, he can get rid of that. But if there's a full control of security as a country, so it it's easy to take only a few months. It does not get more guarantee. The guarantee is what they call it a security arrangement, because we have so many army that every every army within South Sudan are waiting for security arrangement. That if I have my own army somewhere and that force of army that who are in the trainees today, they got graduated, I may say, okay, I'm done. Okay, I'm done. Here is my gun. I'm going to the country peacefully. I know that I already have security because that army who was been training for 2 years, who are sitting there now, are a national army. It's considered as a national army. The rest, whether you are in Iowa or you are in IG or you are in SWA or you are in a group that have not yet joined the government, they are not considerable as I'm talking to you today on my own definition. And back to you, Pat.
So, Mabur, you mentioned only one thing about the army. Don't you see that there is other things really uh, need to be done so we can have a peaceful and fair election? Do you have other more
Yes,
point to, or you can just
yes,
say quickly?
definitely.
I
Yes,
felt like
definitely. Yes,
Mhm.
definitely. You mentioned something. You thank you for reminding me that. Yes, because the country for election and all this, if there's, that's why I put them into that one box, one basket, because the election is always conducted when there's security arrangement or there's security within the country. The refugees can be returned to the country. Those who are in jail, which is IDP, the IDPs who are in jail, locked in the old capital of cities, can be walk free, and also to the census that could know exactly who is alive and who is lost can be done. So all those cannot be done unless the country is secure. Thank you. Back to you.
yeah. Anyway, yeah, there is a few people making comment there, which I don't know. I don't want to dwell too much on some of the comments, but I think just we need to really have a critical thinking. There is certain comments that maybe uh, I don't know at this point is not gonna mean anything regarding who's supposed to be going to jail and things like that. That is not what we are talking about today. But what we are trying to cover here, uh, we know that it was announced that there is an election that will take place in 2023. So for us to just look ahead, we have only 2022 just in the middle. So it seems like the election is like in the corner here, right? So, and that is why we want to think really, because if there is still things are lacking في حاجات ما نظموهم بطريقة صح، في حاجات لسه ما كفاية، يعني احنا ما مستعدين عشان نعمل انتخابات. لازم نتكلم عنه عشان مثلا الحكومة يقدر ينفذ الاشياء دول، اوكي، عشان يكون عندنا انتخابات نزيه وسليم. Anyway, but that's why we are asking this question. So Jeremiah, if you can answer me also in the same question here, right? Um, uh, what does it take to have a fair and peaceful election? To your point of view, what do you think?
This is the bigger one.
Oh man, what am I gonna do then? I thought that these are small, small. Like
This one is too big. It contain a lot of things inside.
it's not going to be okay. Let's see. Maybe it's not going to be too big for Abelcon.
Yeah,
Okay,
okay.
go ahead, Jeremiah.
Okay, thank you for this opportunity. Yeah, uh, like brother Mabor said, he talk about the phony race. These are real. I cannot. I don't want to mention. I mean to mention again.
No, I don't mind. Mention them again because people, repetition make perfect. Why not? Repeat it again so our people will know this is what we are yearning for. This is what we desire. No problem. Mabor say it again in your own words.
Yeah, yeah. One of what said when you talk about the security arrangement, you mean the current uh, peace agreement or revolutize, revolutize agreement. So that agreement has not been honored, and since it has not been honored, then there is no need for election because uh, some of the armed group are still out uh, in the bush. I still in the bush, and they may not participate in election, and that is already insecurity. So if the fees is not implemented, it is another sign that election will never be free or will never be secure. Let me put it that way. So it is something to do with the unifying forces and the graduation, and something to do with the country security forces operation during the election. So these things they are not done yet. They are not yet done. This is the concern of everybody, not Bobor alone. So, we mean in summary, it needs peace, peaceful atmosphere in the country where everybody feels safe, and that will lay the foundation, or a journey for general election in South Sudan in 2023. Now, let me, because I said it is a quite long topic. You see, to have a fair and peaceful election, it means a lot. Even sometimes we had seen it in America where the democracy was born, the birthplace of democracy, is still election was not free and fair. And we witness it. What about South Sudan, where there is no democracy? It's gonna be worse. So First thing in South Sudan, it needs democratic government. And then democratic governments will prepare the election for the country. And also it requires National Electoral Commission to be independent, because it is the body which will be in charge of the election. Something to do with the tallying or counting votes. It will be the one doing that in conjunction, or will be observed. They will be observed by regional and international election observers. Then registration of the political parties had to be done in according to the national constitution, without fear. All the political parties, they had to be screened fairly, by the electoral commission based on the national law. Then there must be a campaign period for election. That period had to be given to all the participants. And the people of South Sudan, they should know that period, because it will determine whether they are ready or not ready for the election. It needs road accessibility. In every election, you normally find there is a delayment of the votes. They don't reach to the destination where they are intended to be taken to. And claim normally is based saying road was not good, or lack of transport, or even now helicopters. So election, it requires nation to prepare itself, and it needs good road by itself, and it needs some hand lifting. An election, it is not just something simple. It employs stuff. There must be a money for running the election. It is just not a free game. It has it needs money for election. Then judiciary must be strong. Weak judiciary, it produces violent election. A strong judiciary will stick on the rule of law and produce free and fair election or peaceful election. Security organs or law enforcement agency, they have a very big role. They must understand the rule of law. They are not allowed to take side. For South Sudan, these law enforcement agencies, they need to be trained to understand what is election. They are the first people to know the meaning of the election, what it means. Because all the electoral or all elections, all the rigging connected to the election, it is done by the ruling party through security organs of the country. So the security forces they can jeopardize election even if there is a election, even if the election law is in place, they can jeopardize it.
That is why they need to be far away. So civil servant or civil society, that should be there. Plus, as you mentioned, a strong judiciary or court or judge that's supposed to be behind that. Anyway, but
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. Issue of judiciary here, because sometimes high court judges are the one favoring any ruling party in Africa. It is the game they normally strike with the ruling parties. When they rig the election with the through by using organized forces, they tell the opposition party or the candidate that I go to court because court is theirs. They don't want to put people in court. That's why in Africa you find the president or the ruling parties they like to appoint high court judges because when they rig the election, they are going to take the case to those judges. That's why you find the opposition that are losing, they are rig on the ground, and then again when they go to court, they are victimized. All the ruling go in the favor of the ruling party. That is what I mean by a strong judiciary in the system. And then the whole of the executive, they have to speak out exactly if there is a violation. They have to speak out about this. But in Africa, they don't speak out because they are going to lose. Because after all, the election which is going to be rigged, it is rigged because they will maintain their seat. If they try to put things correct and then the ruling party kick out, then all of them they will go. That is why they normally keep silent. And then return of the refugees has my board said, how can you conduct the election and now we have 1 year between, and it is very short now to initiate the process of repatriation to bring the refugees back to the country so that they can vote. This period is very short, and we are not seeing any anything to do with bringing back the refugees. Government has now that plan, and even this plan did not reach UN, so that the government could have been facilitated how to return the people back to the country. And of course, international community did not accept that one. They are not willing to do that because they know country is not safe because of tribalism. Our this civil war it is not a normal one. This one the ideologies it contains. These are the factors sometimes normally led to genocide. So not normal. That is why international community they are not talking about return of the refugees now because they know. So election will not take place without freedom of speech. Because in South Sudan now, it is like a security state where people are not allowed to talk. So freedom of speech, it is absent in South Sudan. And if it is realized, until it is realized that there is freedom of speech, there is a freedom of speech in the country practiced by the journalists, civil society organs, and normal citizens of that country, then there is no need for election unless people are allowed to speak about what kind of the government do they want and whom do they want really in that government and the system of government that they want. And then leaving POC is one of the criteria for the election to take place because they have to come out and vote. They should not vote in POC. They have to go back to their homes. For the election to take place, those whom their houses have been demolished, they have to be constructed or they have to be released from a POC to go back and reconstruct their houses because you cannot vote while you're in the jail in POC. You're supposed to vote while you're in your house. How can you go to vote while you're fearing some other militias around? You know, the biggest thing is trust. Citizens are not trusting government. Other political parties, they are not trusting government. The ruling party, the SPLM. SPLM is the one trusting itself alone, and no one trusts the factors. I think if the materialization will take place. If they are not materialized, election will never be free and fair and or even peaceful. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jeremiah. You say the question is even bigger, but I think you answer it. You answer it like if there is really people paying attention to what you are saying. I wish I jot some of them down here. I think you answered that question, man. So anyway, thank you so much, Jeremiah. شكرا للإجابة بتاعك للسؤال ده. And now, my brother Abel Kun, long time no see, and welcome. And you see, I know, just again, a question, man, there that I want you to answer, which is, of course, the question number 2. Uh, and we are talking about election and things like that, 2023. You heard us talking. But what do you think? Do you think that we have all the means for a fair and peaceful election if it's happened in 2023? Go ahead. What is your take on that?
First of all, I would like to greet all of you. I don't know whether you guys can hear me well.
Oh yeah, your sound clear.
It's always a pleasure to be back in Nile Nation Network and share thoughts with you guys and the viewers of this wonderful forum. Election is it is something that people look into it, and when it comes to the issue of South Sudan, I know that 2023 is not that far, but we still have a way to go. If it did happen in 2023, as people are talking about it, I know that came across there was a support from the United Nations, I believe, and other trica countries that are supporting that people should have election in South Sudan to bring a legitimate government that the people actually will have trust on them. Because if you are voted into the office, then you are given a mandate to lead the country in that time. Before we go all this way, there are things that need to be done in South Sudan before we talk about election. The most important thing is the census in South Sudan has not been done. We still have people in neighboring countries in refugee camp. We still have people in internal displaced camp, like in POC, that need to go to their places. We still have issue of security arrangement that need to be implemented, and the current peace agreement. But it's something that part of this peace agreement. I support that people of South Sudan should have an election, so that all people are talking all these years that President Kiir or whoever is in power now has lost legitimacy because he was not elected as a president of South Sudan. He was elected during when we still have a one nation, actually, Sudan, and because of the internal conflict that engulfed our country, I think that's why we are talking about this, that there's a need of election. But as we speak, I can say that if election is this year, I can say we don't have a capability to hold the election at this moment. But if the government the current unified government, if they work so hard to implement the security arrangement, to make sure that the peace has been implemented in letter and spirit, I think people of South Sudan can go to fall in 2023 so that you could vote into the office the person that you want to lead that country, to give him the mandate that is needed. Some of the panel here have talked about the obstacle to the 2023 election. But if it has a back of the international community, I think South Sudan can go to election in 2023 because we still have 2022 that is around the corner. And I believe that if the security arrangement is implemented, we have unified forces in place, and the people in refugee camp went back to South Sudan. I know that not all of them that will go back, especially those in neighboring country, but there are people that will go back if they feel that there's the sense of security in the country, that they can feel secure and not fear to be attacked. I think they can go back to South Sudan and participate in that election. I can actually support the idea of having an election so that you and I can actually, cast in our vote and decide whom we will be given the mandate to lead the people of South Sudan. But because it is 2023, if you say that we are going to postpone the election of 2023, then you will talk about President Kiir not having the mandate to lead the people of South Sudan at this time. So we need a person that will be given a mandate, whether we have the ability in 2023, then I believe people of South Sudan can go to poll and vote in that time. But because if we're far a year away and a half, and if they have the backing, I would say that you need the money in place. We need to do the census. We need people to go back to South Sudan. I mean, people in neighboring country, and these are the things that need to be done. You have the census, and then make sure that the stability is there, that there's no fear of people within South Sudan fear that and silence of the gun, and also the current holdout group that need to be brought back, to accept the registration of the parties that will participate in 2023 election in South Sudan is something that is also needed, because we have a lot of briefcase parties that are not even, if it comes to the real sense, they cannot qualify as a parties, because I think they need a quorum to be accepted as a political party in South Sudan. But it will depend on the election commission that will be set up in South Sudan to look into those ones. But while we speak, yes, we can talk about it. The government will hear about it, not only President Kiir, but the unified government will have to talk about it, so that they can give us a good atmosphere, a conducive environment where people can go to poll and vote. But there are a lot of hard work need to be done before we reach to election of 2023.
Yeah, Brother Abelkon, yes, I cannot agree with you more than what you said. I do agree with you with a lot of things. It's just I want to also to understand your take on this one. You mentioned a lot of things, the census, the refugee coming back, the same thing like what Jeremiah was mentioning and all these kind of things. But I do believe that also, what do you think about the judiciary? Because not everything really, all the election, you are here in first world and things like that. None of these election under the armed forces or things like that, or the security organ and things like that, but they work very close with the judiciary. If we don't have a strong judiciary that can say something is wrong here, something is right here, and what do you think really? Because other people are showing concern. I'm not worried about them saying that, oh, if Salva Kiir going to come back, it's going to be another war. But this is up to the South Sudanese. If everything is implemented right and everything is right, and South Sudanese voted back for Salva Kiir, that is not the issue. The issue is, are we going to have a fair and peaceful election? You mentioned a lot of other things that I do agree. What do you think about judiciary?
Well, Brother Paul, I think the issue of we need an independent judiciary that will not ally with the government, because we need an independent, in any country that is democratic, it have a strong institution like judiciary that will look into this matter if there's a concern of unfair election that will rule in favor of listen to those who have concern if the election actual outcome did not favor them, anyway that that should be acceptable, but not in this case of South Sudan. If we are looking into the fair, we have a long way to go in South Sudan. South Sudan is a country that need a lot of things to be put in place. We need not only a strong institution in form of judiciary, but we need a lot of a strong institution in South Sudan. We need a banking system that will be actually independent without government involvement, maybe regulation in terms of regulation. We need, the election commission that will be independent body. These are things that we require. But if we say that you're going to wait until we have those systems in place, then South Sudan will not be ready to have an election on time. We are talking about postponing election for the next 5, 10 years to come, because you cannot have a strong institution within a year or two. You need actually, to have a man, what they call a human development that is required. That if they should not fear if they actually, make the decision against the government. We need a system that will say, yes, I'm independent. I have no involvement with who are leading the country. We need also a strong institution army that does not favor any, that's not aligned with with the ruling party. Like what is happening in South Sudan is that, SPLA, SPLM, they see themselves as a part of SPLM, even though that we have to accept the army cannot ally to the political party or to any country. The army is there to protect anybody in the country, not only to the elite, but because SPLA see themselves as the parcel of that party, SPLM, when we're in the bush. And the way to transform themselves into the strong, independent army in the country is a headache. And that's what actually you see during the 2013 crisis. That what you see, all these militias, that, if you don't have militia in South Sudan, you not be considered. You have to form your own militias, you have to kill your own people to be accepted in South Sudan, whether in the government or in the rebel. I think it's the same thing as well. And this thing we need to detach ourselves from this kind of system. And the way to do it is not going to be easy way. We need actually to elect a body, elect somebody, whether it's President Kiir or anybody that will come. It doesn't have to be President Kiir, but it can be anybody. If you elect Dr. Machar today and we don't have those institutions in place, we can still be doubtful in the country of South Sudan. Even though we elect person like Thomas Shirila and we don't have, independent judiciary system, we still have a doubt in the system of South Sudan. So it's not the issue of President Kiir, it's the issue of anybody that will come up in the next 2 or in the next 5 or 10 years to come. But they need a gradual transformation, reform in the country that not only will focus on the digital system, but will focus on the 5, independent body of the government. Actually, the 3, the legislation.
Yeah, yeah, the three, yeah.
Three,
The legislation and legislature and executive.
yes. So it is something we need. We have to talk about it. If we don't talk about it, then let us talk about it. Even though they may not listen to us, we'll have people that will actually take maybe 1 or 2 words from there and there, because we are all concerned about how the country is heading to, and we need to make sure that the next generation in South Sudan. I know that is not going to be very easy. We are among the generation those are sitting here today that were actually being told by our late chairman that would demolish the whole Sudan and you'll be the people there to build South Sudan or Sudan in that time. But how to build South Sudan, we need to be given a room. We need to be, because we have an expertise. South Sudan does not lack educated people. We have a lot of educated people. South Sudan does not have people that are experienced. We have a lot of people that are experienced, but they need to be given a chance so that they can actually but how are you going to be given a chance if you're not taking that chance? This is the question that we can ask ourselves here in this forum, and the viewers as well.
Yeah, that is true. Thank you so much. And things that are fearing us, and maybe I don't want you to answer that, but I know for sure. Yes, sometimes we need to do things slowly but surely, but also in other hand, we don't see anything really happening, right? A lot of things that you guys mentioned here, We don't see it happening. And if it's not happening, that will cause us to have a unfair and unfeasible election that can bring mayhem, turmoil, and the continuation of the civil war that we see. Or even I look at it sometimes, it look like tribalist war. So and our country will be in chaos again. So that is these are the things that we are fearing here. We need to make sure that everything run good and well. People trust the system. No one have any worried at all, even though who comes, who Mr. X come or Miss X that comes, send people no worries at all because they trust the system that they want to go for it. Thank you so much, Abelkon. Let me go to William Goldit here. He was waiting patiently, and again, repetition make perfect. Thank you so much, Abelkon. Go ahead, William. Same question.
Yeah, thank you, Pell, and thank you, the people who speak before me. I mentioned in the beginning that social contracts, I think, is very, very, very important. That when we are in peace because of understanding. We are not just in understanding without agreement or without objectives. So social contract is very important. As I mentioned in the beginning, civic right and civic duties, they are very important. الحقوق المدني والواجبات المدني, they are very important. So how can you exercise الواجبات المدني or حقوق المدني when we start electing our leader? As all of you mentioned, we do exercise those rights and responsibility in our own villages, in our own towns, okay, in our own community. Because what does it mean when you have a civic right? Civic right. So you need to have a clean drinking water. You need to have a home. You need to have a job. You need to have a health care. You need to have education. These are your civil rights. And when we said we need to build a hospital in this area, in my areas, where do I raise this concern? To the parliament. Okay, to the parliament. And who will deliver or convey my message as a community to the parliament? Is my representative, okay, to the parliament. So, and when the government, in generally, in return, they want you, like if there is a war, if there is a taxation, or any volunteer required from the citizen, the same parliament, the same government will come back again and ask the citizen to exercise their civic duties. Okay? No. In Southern Sudan, do we have it? No, we don't have it. So let me go to why we don't have it. Okay? We go back now to the President Salva Kiir and SPLM. Okay? Because under this regime, all these حقوق المدني انتهت ما موجود تاني. Okay? And that's why in 2013 we went to war and we kill ourselves until now because الحقوق المدني صار غير موجودة. الحرية غير موجودة. الأرض خليك إن مثلا أنت عايز المستشفى ولا عايز المدرسة ولا عايز الشغل ولا عايز الموية، البيتك أنت أخذوها منك، ولا رجالك ولا أخوانك ومين قتلوها قدامك. So this thing took us to the current war, and we all pay the price for it. So those are the reason why we are in a war. Okay, we know when we go to war, there must be a concession, right? When people do bargaining or negotiating, talking about tough issues, there must be a concession, and we saw it between South and the North. Even it cost North Sudan, the Southern Sudan to go away. That is one of the concession, because the war cannot go ahead for as long as it has been. Now, in Southern Sudan, when we fought in 2013 and we slaughter ourselves, we went to negotiating tables, name them in Khartoum or in Kampala or wherever. We rotated around the neighborhood, even in Europe, and now in Rome also. So there are many concessions that has been reached. And that's why we have a revitalized peace agreement. So this peace agreement is very, very crucial and very important. I will continue using example of Rwanda. Guy, unless we are joking or unless we don't calculate the risk, but if we are not joking and we are aware, we know the risk that will follow due to our action, irresponsible action, as it happened when Salva Kiir announced a fake coup. He didn't calculate the risk, and therefore we are suffering, including himself. Rwanda, they tested this, but when they came back, they come back with a clean heart that they need to reconnect with themselves. And that is what they are doing today in Rwanda. What did we learn from these disasters in Southern Sudan? We didn't learn anything. I don't see it. Why we didn't learn is we are talking about election today. And there is a question here that, is there, this election, would it be fair? And what does it take to have a fair election? And I think all of you answer it. I don't want to go there. But I will just stick with the consequence of our obsessions, that we need to hold on what we have already. Okay? The current election does not, the current situation, violations of the election, of the peace agreement, it will not allow us to have a conducive atmosphere to conduct the election in 2013, even 2010, 30s, I can say. As Abel Con, there is a lot of things to be done. Unless we have to be honest with ourselves as Rwandese and do something about it. So, violation of the peace, the current peace. How can we call for the fair election or even 2023 election while the master of the war is planning to continue violating the election? What does we understand by those behavior? First thing, to violate the election, putting Dr. Young Machar under house arrest, because that is a real and true partner to peace. If you don't value him, is an importance to contribute toward this peace, that it itself you are not honest in this peace. So Dr. Yagmashar, even though he went to Juba without security, and Salva Kiir offered to give him, provide a security to him, he is not free to move. Now, what election we are talking about? That is a violation. Other things, let alone talking about election, the manipulation of Salva Kiir, arresting Dr. Yagmashar, and also continuing buying other generals in IO or in other political parties, that it itself is so scary, because there is a healed intention here. Okay, we have to fix ourselves all together in order to fix this southern Sudan. But if you think, like for example, now Dr. Lamakol has been excluded and Dr. Yagmashar is under house arrest. Lamakol don't allow him to come in. انت جبت عبد الباقي ما بعرف كان دوره شنو كان في المفاوضات وفي الحرب ده ما بنعرف. خدتوه هناك كم نواب كله خدتها هناك. حدا طلب بالسلام بدل الجنوبيين، لأنه السلام ده ما جاء من الفراغ، هو جاء بالدم. ولكن أنت لما يكون عندك عقلية إن أنت تجيب الإنسان الضعيف وتخلي الإنسان القوي الممكن يساعدك في تنفيذ هذه اتفاقية، هذا براه خطر. Another example, Olin for example, over 8 months, Olin no. What does it tell us when you say no? What kind of the peace we are looking for? There is a hidden agenda. When you start saying no to this and yes to that and no to this and yes to that, there is a hidden agenda. So that itself can tell us that there is no election that is going to take place. Okay, because already election has been rigged in the beginning by violating the peace agreement. Security arrangement, we talk about it. Okay, I don't want to go there. I think you all mentioned that itself is a foundation of a strong institutions, a strong police, a strong army, as Abel said, the army that will detach itself from the party. But already they don't want, there is a tactic, delay, and the election will come. Okay? So why is it this happening? Why? That is the question we all should answer, should find the answer. Why? Because there is one thing, ideology, a Jing Council of Elders, that have to expand the domination into wherever it is in Southern Sudan. So for a person who have that ideology, I know Abel Cole is in Canada here, I'm in Canada here. There was no question when the white people came and then they start killing the First Nation or excluding them from whatever in any power making or decision making. Why they did that? Because they need to take over this country. Simple. So you cannot take over the country if you have to agree with the person who is your enemy. It's the same ideology from Jing Council. So therefore, they will not accept the fair election, because fair election will bring people will take people first to their villages, and then it will give them right to exercise their civic duty or civic right. They don't want to do that. They want to go it alone in the way it is now. So for me, there is no election. The answer for the people of Southern Sudan should be no. There is no election if there is no implementation of the peace, or if there is no security arrangement. First, security arrangement, complete implementations of the peace agreement, institutionalization of the government institution, a strong institution, as you all said, judicial, parliament, and executive. If we guarantee those, and then we return the people to their villages, and then now we move into thinking about election and thinking about the process, what is needed here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, William Goldid. I know, yes, it's very lengthy, and it's good to explain it. Like, let us turn all the stones. We shouldn't leave anything unturned. I think Brother Michael here, Michael Uthor, he say here, it will not be easy for the security arrangement anymore, because there are so many mass already took place. And he said here, Dr. Riek Machar is a signatory of his movement, of his movement IO has been abandoned, and the new leader is not a part of the peace agreement. I don't know here what are you talking about. Yes, there is a lot of people that move out from IO, and that is what William was talking about earlier. That there is a lot of people that was being bribed to abandon IO. But today we are not talking about the IO or something like that. We are talking about the election in South Sudan, and then there is a lot of parties really that need to participate in the election. But our concern is there is no any real means for election to happen right now or in 2020, because unless, as Abel Kon was saying, we have to see this thing implemented, and then from there maybe we can have an election. Or Jeremiah was saying all those kind of things. Like, look at the numbers of things that really are not done. uh, the implementation of the revitalized peace agreement, especially the part of the security arrangement, it's not being implemented. And when we think about what is the security arrangement, we talk about the unified forces. We talk about graduating them so to secure the people. And then now when they secure the people, those who are in refugee camp can come back. Those who are in POCs inside the country can go out into their houses. Those who are occupying their houses can be asked to leave, give them a land so they can go build their tukul or their rakuba, leave the land of that person that was being chased away for the last 10 years, to go back into their houses and build their houses, right? Uh, the permanent constitution of South Sudan is not done yet. I think even, I don't know, I didn't hear it yet, if the MPs are being sworn in, so at least they can work in that. And we talk about the three pillars of the government, that they're supposed to be executive not inciting any one of those, either judiciary or legislation. So it's supposed to be no intimidation at all. they're supposed to work freely, peacefully, powerfully, so they know their mandate. The executive, the judiciary, and the legislation. This thing is not happening. As we look forward for election, who's supposed to oversee the election? It's supposed to be the judiciary. We need the judges to have
Yeah.
a full power, and they're supposed to work side by side with the law enforcement, because if there is something wrong, then they will order the law enforcement to intervene. Not the army I'm talking about the police, because they are the one who's supposed to work to with judiciary. The army, they're supposed to be by the border, right? Not really uh, in the cities, right? We talk about freedom of speech, okay? We talk about census. It's a big piece. How are you going to do a election and there is no census? You see, a lot of things that are missing, and maybe that is what maybe Michael Otto mean by mass that is happening. Yes, there is a lot of mass. We need to correct things, and things need to be done right, so at least we can have a fair and peaceful election. When are we going to implement this thing? As all of you agreed that at this time it's so hard for us to have an election. Even I will alter the question that I was saying. Do you think South Sudan is well prepared for election in 2020? Please explain. I don't think that if from what you guys given us here, South Sudan is not well prepared for election in 2020. As my final question, I promise you today we will do it within 2 hours. I need to understand what is the way forward. What is the way forward? Because we have seen all these African presidents and Arabic countries presidents, when they took over, either they came by coup or even if they come by election. But guess what? They want to stay in power till they die. And not just only that, they prepare their own son to take over after them. We see Gaddafi, he lost his life. I don't know where is two of his sons that he want to take over after himself. Hosni Mubarak, he want also his son to take over after him. Leave alone if you go to Arabs countries in Asia, and then we will see Saddam Hussein lost his life maybe with his sons too. Okay, we see Uganda trying to bring somebody, I don't know, his son or his daughter or his wife, I don't know. Like everybody trying to bring somebody to the power. We are lacking the real meaning of democracy, right? Even just to start it with this, it's just a very small skill. As you become a president of the country, right? You need to make your plan where you want to see this country after the end of your term. If you don't want to challenge your seat as a president, why don't you start something democracy? Because our people, they lack the ideology. What is democracy? Why don't you start with the counties commissionary? Let them go for election, a fair and peaceful election under your watch. Give them 2 years term. And then after that, why don't you come to the governors? Give them also how to learn how to do election peaceful. Like, I'm not going to be killing this or killing that or hit this and hit. We can go and eat together and campaign. selling our ideas to people to vote for you and for me and things like that. It's that our ideas that we have to take the country forward. That is what will supposed to bring us to power. Not because you are from that tribe or you're from this tribe or you're from there. Not because you are my relative, you are my cousin, you are my in-laws, that will grant you to come to the power. But it's supposed to be something we're supposed to educate, that which the presidents in South Sudan or in the whole Africa lack when they're supposed to make a good plan for the country to move forward. Teach people how to know democracy, how to do election, not during the election people running here and there was machete cutting people off, as we have seen in Africa. What is the plan for us to have a peaceful?
Yeah, boss, go out and then come back again.
Okay, sorry. Yeah. So now, what is the way forward? Please, guys, help me out here. What is the way forward? Mabur, welcome. If there is no election in 2020 and we don't know any idea, none of these things we talk about that are lacking, not being implemented, what is the way forward? Mabur, go ahead. And this is the final question for all of you guys. As I mentioned earlier, we're gonna be wrapping up within 2 hours. Mabur, welcome.
Yeah, thank you. My yell boss, I think you can come back because your camera does not allow you to come in when does not allow you to be added on. So you can come back. You can come back. So yes, thank you for the question. Actually, the way forward that I know so far is that if there is no security arrangement within some month from now, and I believe if it is something that President Salva Kiir needed, I think he's yearning to go back to war. Let him not deceive people and say, I'm not taking people back to war. So he's just putting that into that corner for his own table. If he's not doing the security arrangement within a couple of some days from today. That's the only door. Let him not deceive and say, I'm not going to take back people to war. But he's already putting it into the table.
Like he's buying time?
Yes, of course.
Buying time for what?
For his reason.
Who know the future?
Yes, well, it might not be him alone. It might be a group who try to do that. By the way, I was Abilkon. Sorry, you came in before and then I did not say anything. Welcome, cowboy head. But you're supposed to make it black so you can follow Salva Kiir.
Don't put the guy in problem.
I'm a man for peace, man. This is the peace man, you see?
Okay, that's why you have the white. Salva Kiir has a white. You guys know Salva Kiir has a white one too, but I think he don't like it. Yeah.
No, he doesn't like it.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
So, yes, so that's what I saw there. We need peace. And South Sudanese, even those who are in diaspora, they really need peace. And the peace will come through security arrangement. That security arrangement, if it is done, peace will come into a country. And people, even there is people within East Africa, will just go home willingly until they can just go accommodate them where he can go and settle himself. They will not be just taken by United Nations. There's a lot of people who will do that. I am very sure for that. But Uncle Kiir,
what?
If you're buying that time within some month from now, the war that you're saying you are not taking people back to it, you already declare it. If you fail to implement this to graduate this army who are in the training today. I'm
Thank
begging.
you. That will need another day, another topic to talk about. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Back to
So
you.
let me, yeah, do it again. William Goldit, what is your take on that? Because you say very clear, there is no election. What is the way out now? What is the way out, William Goldit?
Well, thank you again. The reason I mentioned already is very clear that, and thank you, Mabor, for saying that. That are the sign for war. Uh, because we didn't learn. We didn't learn from the past. I was, you guys, let's put it this way. I was watching the video. There is an elephant just got drawn into the pond, and the pond was so deep, and the elephant struggled to exit to get out, and it cannot until the villagers all came to drag it out. You know, they brought many things. They try. It took time. Believe me, when the elephant was able to be pulled out from the pond, the way it ran to the forest, it didn't even look at the people who helped it or look back to the water, because he learned a lot of the lesson. So it right away escaped to the bush, you know. So for us, as I mentioned, we're supposed to learn the lesson. And even the lesson was not because we were killing the enemies. We were killing our own people. And we see today people is still in POC. Why? Why they are not getting out? Because there is no trust, as Jeremiah said in the beginning. So people know that it's better I sit in that cage. Even many people, maybe they got paralyzed for a long time living in this cage. They prepare to remain there because there is no trust. Okay? So Salva Kiir and his Jing Council, they didn't learn anything. They should learn as elephant, as I said. They go to Rome, the Pope kneeled down, and that was circumcision. They has been circumcised by washing their feet. And I know if they understand the meaning of that, this is what Jesus did. Okay? But in my understanding, as Pal you said, many leaders in Africa, they end up like what happened to Gaddafi, like what happened to Idi Amin Dada. He died in Saudi. Mobutu Seko Seko, he died in Tunisia. You know, those people who are good leaders, they have been buried in their homeland. Maybe, in my personal assumption, that God does not accept that Salva Kiir should be a people leader because he's missing another chance now for this peace, but he is spoiling it. And it could be what God said when Peter cut the ears of a soldier, and Jesus said, took your sword back. Because whoever used this one, the same thing will be used against him. Salva Kiir is a good killer. Maybe his time will come like the time of Gaddafi or of those of Iraq. Maybe this is what he's waiting for. Because the game he's playing now, that he can manipulate, he can twisting around, he can play around. He's making his own destiny. Okay? Riek Machar is not the only person. Begulagal Allah Walet. Okay? There are many people in Nuer. If you think Riek Machar, there is no way. If you think Lamakol, I just excluded him, that is good for me. If you think Olin, I excluded him, that is good for him. But he is trying to manufacture many people like those people. And when it comes, that will come with a different style of thinking, you know. So what is the solution there? As Mobor said, the way I'm seeing things, there is a war. And I think even many people, because you cannot, people were hoping that the peace is coming, peace is coming, we're celebrating, we're doing what? And that is the time. If Salva Kiir now is saying, Guy, many evil things happen, is a time for reconciliation. As I heard from the president of Rwanda, that the people who had been hurt, who are the victim, the request was from them that the person who killed you have nothing to give. He's just a killer. But the person who hold the keys is a person who is a victim. And he explained it that what do you expect from the killer? Mercy. And who do you think will give the mercy? The victim. No, Salva Kiir is not asking, with the Jian Council, they are not asking for forgiveness. So the victim can say, we say no, or we will forgive you. He's not asking, but he's continue planning to hurt people more. So I think the time, like now, what is going on in the Wow? What is going on in Juba? What is going on in Upper Nile? Where is the peace? So what message the government is sending to people is that I don't like this peace. I will continue crushing you. But what would you think the people will react? Yeah, so there is, if there is no implementation of the peace to change from the way he's doing now, there is imminent war. It's coming. And this is what we don't want, but nobody can escape that because this is the nature of the government continuing doing that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, William Goldit. And now, Abel, as we all of you guys say that, okay, there is no way for election this time, 2023, it's kind of impossible to happen. So, what is the way out, Abel Kohn?
I may differ with those who are saying there's no way out. Of course, there's a way out. There's way
No,
out.
no. I'm asking
Okay.
what will be the way out. No one say that there is no way out. There is people keep on the comment there. They keep saying, "Oh, no election, whatever, not when Salva Kiir or Young Machar in power." Not so they are saying that. But as we talk here, we mention all these things. The implementation of revitalized peace agreement, the security arrangement, the permanent constitution, the election commission is not known, and we talk about the three pillars that they kind of being politicized by the executive. They are not really free, like the judiciary and legislation. They are not free. There is no freedom of speech. Like as we talk here, me personally, I cannot just go to Juba right now. I know I will be toast, right? Unless if I have to seek pardon first, and then I can go. So we know there is a lot of there is a lot
I
of
think
things.
you can go to Juba because there's a peace agreement. You know,
Yeah. And then after that, there is no way for me to come out. Another jail. No, I'm not going there to lock myself in the jail. I need to see these things happening. The things that are lacking, that we wish Michael think is a mess already that happening. So it seemed to be if there is no implementation of the thing that you said yourself, Abel Kohn, if are not implemented, we will not have a fair and peaceful election. And if we don't have a fair and peaceful election, that means we are going back to war. There will be mayhem, there will be turmoil, there will be killing, there will be all this. So this is not what we meant. Like we shouldn't do any election when we know that it's gonna take us straight to hell, right? We don't want that.
Yes.
So now, if these things are not implemented, what is the way forward? It's me asking what is the way forward. I didn't say there is no way forward. You, what do you think? What will be the way forward?
I believe there's a way forward because
Good.
2023 is still far away.
Okay.
The implementation of peace agreement will go as planned, even though it has delayed the delayment of implementing those protocol
What make you
that
sure?
was
What make you sure, Abel Kon? What make you
of course
sure?
what made me sure that now we have the government that is comprised of 5 vice president and the President Kiir working together.
But
We
you
have
see,
a parliament
you
that
see,
was
Abel
just
Kon, Abel, but
that
you
will take
see
oath
on your
next week.
Abel, Abel, you
Yes.
see on your own eyes, we were been going for since 2018, right? And we are dragging our feet. Is this not alarming for you?
Of course, it is alarming, and that's why we are talking about it. But it was not alarming. I could not sit here and ship in my
That is
thought of it, right?
yeah,
But
yeah,
I believe
okay.
that the 2023 is still far away. We will have an election. If it is not 2023, maybe early 2024. It depends. But the agreement is that we don't need this election to be delayed. We need just to speed things up that are not being implemented. And giving, first of all, I was against this big government that was negotiated. The 550 member of parliament, 5 vice president, that alone consume, without the state government, consume a lot of resources in the government in South Sudan, and we don't lack those instead of going for development. I was against this. But if it is that what will take to bring peace in South Sudan, then I think it's better to have it until the people of South Sudan will decide later on that they should have a lean government instead of the bigger government. But the question that we should be asking, I know many of you have made up their mind. There's a lot of things that are looming, not only within President Kiir government, even within the opposition party as well. We have seen the breakaway of SPLM IO, 2 factions now or 3. There's a new SPLM chairman that was just declared himself as the chairman of SPLM IO. Dr. Riek is still in Juba. And I don't think that President Kiir will actually relieve him not to be part of the peace agreement. So what we can focus on it is that what are causing all this fraction within, and that are the what you have seen as the war looming. Of course, the war may loom because if this faction continue to say that we are not going to be part of this peace agreement, then there'll be a war. People will fight with them. And I do believe that President Kiir is very, very legion enough with opposition. President Kiir is not strong enough actually to make his mind either to be a strong leader in the country or to be a weak leader and leave that post and go. It's 2 options that you have. You cannot continue to appease those who does not actually accept the progress in South Sudan. Every time there's something that positive is happening, then some people will say, okay, we're not part of it. And then there'll be another negotiation now that what is going on in Rome is being negotiated. Now that the faction of Simon Garwit and the new SPLM chairman, they may negotiate with the government again. And this is a continuation of what is happening in South Sudan. You cannot blame it alone in President Kiir as the head of the state, but it has a role to play to make sure that we don't have this faction. There's Thomas Cirillo is not part of the Rome agreement that is being negotiated. So this is a concern with any citizen of South Sudan that is tired of war. The war is not an option. The option is the option that we have can only be an election. Election is actually supported by international community. If Troika is supporting that election, if the America is supporting, including Troika and the East African are supporting the election, I believe that South Sudan can have election in 2023. But before the election take place, what we have discussed here, we have what they call election commission in place. We have a census that need to be done in place. We need people that are in refugee camp to go back to the places. I know that not all of them, but even internal displaced person to go back to the houses. These are required for them actually to vote in the coming election. But I hope that if we are all tired of war, then we cannot continue to support the fraction within a movement or within the government. And this is something that we all are concerned at the citizen of the country. And the way forward is that we still have 2023 far, but let us hope that what is development that is happening, I don't know how we're going to tackle it, but it's not something that easy. You need a strong leader. And I know that President Kiir is not strong enough when it comes to deal with those actually defecting, or those who think that the war is the only way out. You either bring a war to them or bring a peace to them, so that people of South Sudan can have enough of that. And this is what I can say. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Abel Kon. Yeah, because I don't know. I promise our audience that we will do it within 2 hours, and I'm still pushing for that. Just bear with us. Bear with us. We're gonna be wrapping up soon. Mr. Jeremiah, what is the way out? Okay, let me unmute you. Okay, repeat it again because you were talking, you are muted.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I agreed with Abil Khan because he concentrated on weakness of the President Kiir, and that is real. It cannot be denied. South Sudan,
But that
or
can
the
mean
people of
something
South
else too,
Sudan,
right? You know, that can
huh?
mean something else too.
Which one?
That the weakness of President Salva Kiir. So to appease everybody, okay, you rebellion, okay, come join the peace, come negotiation. So could mean we need a tough president that doesn't talk to no people. You mess up, he come after you and finish you off, and the country is moving up. So weakness
Yeah,
of Salva Kiir, it could mean so many things. Could mean we need somebody that can just keep killing people and that's it, right?
yeah.
Yeah, but as
You
you agree
see,
with him
what I
with the
am talking
positive
about.
side of it, no problem. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I have a belief really President Kiir is very weak. It's not weak by accepting five vice president and this large parliament. This is not what I mean. Weakness of Salva Kiir did not start yesterday or when he was with after the CPA. He was one of the weakest commanders when we were in the bush. Not something new with him. This is what I mean. He was one of the weakest SPLA commanders. The good thing with him is that he was about to rebel in a year. If you can remember that, and people don't talk about it. He already rebelled. So there was a tough negotiation going on, had been going on in a year. And what he said when he got convened, he said, okay, because people agreed to go to Rumbek. And he said, okay, yeah, I will go to Rumbek. And because I don't want people of South Sudan to say I was the one who jeopardized their struggle. That he said that we abandoned his rebellion from Dr. John Garang ambition. That was what he said. But if you could have remembered, or if he is someone who can look back, he could have really exit, because so that people of South Sudan could not say he is the one who destroyed the nation after the independence.
He said he don't know where to go. When he was asked by the Kenyan journalist, ask him to, why don't you go? Why don't you leave the power? He say, go where? He doesn't know where to go. He jailed himself in the presidency. He's in jail of the presidency for life. So he don't know where
He
to
has
go.
no. Yeah, some people will show him where to go. I think It can be arranged. This is just the tactic, and that is not good answer. Now, any president in the world, when he was told to leave, or when he's leaving the state house, then he has nowhere to sleep. That is not a good argument. So he was just trying
That
to
is
say
fine.
things in a
Yeah,
way he likes, but not the way
I
people
don't
want.
want to take your answer. I don't want to take your answer from you. So now, what do you think? What will be the way forward as we look for election 2023 with the problems that we have? So, what will be the way forward?
My original thinking was that, first of all, in 2023, Salva Kiir is going to be in office. This is my predicament. You want it or you don't want it, is going to be in the office. He will remain as a president of the Republic of South Sudan in 2023. This is the entire belief of the SPLM. They already work
إذا
for
لم
that.
يمد الله العجل سوري معلش اذا لم يمد الله
Yeah.
الاجل الاجال او انا مش انا I don't want to say it in a way that will look mean. I don't wish death to nobody, but sometimes we
Mm.
don't know what the lives hold.
So that is the belief SPLM has now. They are going to win the election because what I think they believe 100% they got rid of React. And now any strong political leader in the country now will stand with Key during elections. Because Key remain as a flag bearer of that party. Then no one is going to come to compete with him. So he's going to win the election. Now, I was thinking, let the election go ahead so that people can get fresh start. But I realize with this new wrong development in IO came, I do think that this one should be considered and election should be postponed. And let people try to put IO in one camp by by releasing Dr. Riap, because what is going on now in IO has been instigated by President Kiir by colluded with foreigners to detain Riek in South Africa illegally, including United States and Uganda. Now, being in Juba is not a law; it's an arrest, and he is under house arrest 100%. This is what we know. That maintaining him under house arrest had led this current division or coming up or looming division within IO. And that is a problem, or it is a threat to the coming general election in 2023. If not because of this bad development initiated by Kir and his foreigners allies, then election could have gone ahead. But because of this, election had to be postponed immediately and really try to release Dr. Riek freely to go into the bushes and meet his people. Then implement the revitalized peace agreement completely or fully without reservation. Now, what I what I want to say, South Sudan become a victim of the United States foreign policy by imposing President Kiir on the people of South Sudan. This is what we know. United States believe Salva Kiir, if he is taken out from power, No one will control Denka. This is the language they have. He is in control of the organized forces. This is how America believes. That is why they jeopardize the position of the entire Troika countries. And in Africa, this one is initiated by Mamo Sebeni and some of the regional leaders, including South Africa. It became very difficult for IGAD to have a paper show that Equatorial is released because those who arrested him, they are connected with the United States. President Kiir, that is conspiracy against his own citizen with the foreign powers. This is what
Okay.
I want to say in terms of the way
Yeah.
people know this one. Now,
If you can summarize this quickly, so we don't disappoint our viewers. We told them we're
okay,
gonna finish within 2 hours.
yeah, okay. Now, if government insists, this is a good opportunity to go ahead with the election with this chaos within IO. Then I will say, okay, the first thing is the only way for people to have good representation in the parliament, let all the political parties unite and build a coalition against just one party. And Ivory Court should be established immediately before 2013 because it will bring what they so-called healing and truth and reconciliation will take place after the Ivory Court. We cannot go to election with a criminal. This is what I want to say. It is not fair. And a report of the former Nigerian president Obasanjo, which identified those who serve with President Kiir in the government to not hold public offices. This report must be revealed and have to be implemented. Civil society they should be included in the enlightenment of the election. And people of South Sudan, they need public awareness of the election. And the government should accept all the democratic principles. And it needs regional protection force to be brought in South Sudan because war will occur. It can people can fight at any time. Enemies, they are not protecting civilians, but it needs regional protection force to be brought in South Sudan for fighting in case war occur. And a strong law is needed, but there is something. Current South Sudan, Chief of Justice shall reach. If we want to produce good election, it has to be removed. He has no good record in terms of respecting law. Then people like McQuail as Minister of Information, if he's still in that position, he can treat genocide by himself because he's very good in incitement. And they're going to rig the election, and everybody will be burning. And he will come now with his incitement or rhetorics against the other tribes or other political parties. Young of elders have to be banned from involvement in politics. And all the political opportunists and loyalists, those who don't understand law or democratic principle of the system, they must be get rid. They must be get rid of before going to election because they are going to rig the election because they are loyalists or they are political opportunists. So this is what I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I don't want to stop you. I need to respect the promise that we keep to our viewers. But what you are saying there, I need to sit, listen to it for hours and hours and hours because these are very learning curve, right? We touch every single thing, so at least we can look out of the box. Thank you so much. But as I every time I try to give you a last opportunity for 1 minute, for 1 minute. If you guys continue more than 1 minute, I'm just gonna turn off the show and see like, oh, okay, everything is done. So please, please, if you all of you can respect, really, let me just give you 1 minute. 1 minute. What do you think that is a burning thing I didn't ask? And I know I didn't ask a lot of things, but for 1 minute, one burning thing, just say it like just bullet point, done. Okay? If we can do that, so at least we make our viewers happy. And also, I make my family happy here. We finish within timely manner. So, Maborko, welcome. 1 minute. What do you have? What do you want to say? 1 minute. Last thing that maybe I think I didn't ask. Go ahead, Mabor. Okay, Mabor went to bed already. Abel Kun, 1 minute. What do you want
Yes,
to say? Just burning thing.
what you have not asked is that the current development within SPLM-IO, the change of command, will it affect the current peace agreement? Of course, it will affect the current peace agreement, because if they are not going to be part of the peace agreement, then there should be another round table of discussion between them and the government, that including the president, I mean the first vice president, because I believe that President Kiir is not going to relieve Dr. Machar in that position, because he's a signatory of that agreement. I think this is what I just want to say, and will affect, it could delay the delayment within the coming election that we all needed. I need election, I myself, so that actually we can get rid of these unmandated and mandated, and who is actually given mandate by the people of South Sudan.
Because because Abel Kun, that is our term. Me and you, we're supposed to be ruling now, man. But our father are taking our chance, and now our younger brothers, they are looking into us. If we don't do anything, they're gonna flush us all out, and then they will take over the young one. You see?
We need
So one of the two: either we sacrifice ourselves with our fathers, or we kick them out and we take over. So we bring the real democratic system in the place. But from what you just say right there, I know dur tur dur. We are tired every time somebody come out and then still remain with the SPLM, SPLM, SPLM. Me, if I have the chance to form my party, it's going to be out of these SPLM. You will not see any SPLM in it, because it's very repetitive. It doesn't mean anything after this point. After we get out of Sudan, SPLM is become like, even the Northern Sudan should get mad of us. They should ask us to get out of this name. So I will form my party, will be a different name completely, but not now. It's still pending till we see the real peace.
The issue is not, I know your view was going to be mad at us, but the issue is not in the name. The issue is in the people that are leading. The issue is not in the name. I myself, I'm often,
but as we are talking with, you just mentioned that the new arriving things with the SPLMIO and things like that. So it's the movement for the Dur Tudur announcing himself to be the leader of the SPLMIO. But hey, you know what? Give yourself a different name. Let Riek Machar go and continue with his name, right? And things like that. Thanks for those of Taban Dengaj, because they went back to the normal SPLM. Those of Bakasoro, they went back to the normal SPLM. Yeah, either you go back, or these people, like you say that we're going to negotiate with them another piece and things like that. No, let them add them to those Paul Malong team and Thomas Shirillo, and let them join the Son of Gideon peace agreement thing. So yeah. So anyway, I think let us keep our train moving, man. Those who keep dropping out, let's just keep our train moving.
We need to actually encourage President Kiir and Dr. Machar to continue to implement the current peace agreement, and anyone that's actually stepping out from the train can find his own way back and come back. But our focus should be how we're going to the graduation of the United Forces that are trained, the implementation of security arrangement, the strong election commission, we should have a census in place, because there's no census that have been done in South Sudan that was done in 2010, I think.
Thank you. We don't.
So
Yeah.
we need those to have to happen. But thank you.
Thank you so much,
know,
Abelkon. We don't want to repeat those things already. Yeah. Mabur. Yeah. Thank you so much, Abelkon. Mabur, 1 minute. What if there is anything burning in your tongue I didn't ask? Just 1 minute, please, 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 please.
What burning in my tongues is that actually my in-laws, Abelkon, mentioned something, and it burned me a lot. Abelkon, what you said is mean a lot. But South Sudan is not Salva Kiir alone. But he's the one who holding the key. That's the only issue here. He's holding the key. And by holding the key, and that's the success for the country. And if he lose the key, we will be like what? That's the big issue here. So let me try to put this together.
You have 1 minute, Yeah.
Okay.
Now you left with half a minute.
Okay. It's not too late for Salva Kiir to gathering this together. Yes, we are all supporting peace, because the people who died are our people, and people who are still suffering now are our people. And put them together, make sure, because security arrangement, if it is not done, how do you will do the census?
So if you guys are gonna be repeating yourself, then we don't want to repeat all those points that we mentioned.
We are not repeating. If I were you guys, those who are in the table now, as the people who are sitting here as 5 of us, I could call for this. Let write a petition and send it to United Nations. Whoever holding the problem in South Sudan is a Riek Machar, who holding back the peace, the implementation of security arrangement. He must be held accountable. If it is Salva Kiir, he must be held accountable. If it is all of them, they must be held accountable. That's it.
Thank you.
That's the only way that we can get away for this situation.
Thank you. Our audience is going to get mad at us now. Jeremiah, 1 minute. Jeremiah, 1 minute, please. 1 minute. Unmute yourself. Let me unmute you. Oops. Let me unmute you. Go ahead. You repeat your.
Okay,
you were talking. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. This 1 minute. You did not talk about the young people participation in the system or in the election process, because the system now is handled by the uncles. So young people, they should be encouraged. They have to listen what we are talking about now. They have to stand up, not to sleep. Uncle, the rigging system even before election. So we have to make awareness about young people, call for them to wake up. And then issue of compensation, those who lost their properties during the war, there had to be compensation. There had to be compensation, because before the election, compensation should take place before the election. Then women participation is very important. Women also have to play a very big role before going to election, and during getting to election, and after the election, together with young people. Then the United Nations Security Council should maintain armed embargo on the government of South Sudan until the election is over. Then the government himself, if government is really union about the election or accepted the will of the people, should create initiative to return the South Sudanese politician in exile to participate in the election. Because if you end the election, logging some of the politician out, they will bring another fire. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. William Goldit, you have the honor to close with your final remark. 1 minute, please. Please, please, please.
Yeah, I think we have say what we have already. What I want to repeat again is that there, unless those people who are really, really are part of the government, and I know that now is good that we are all for peace. But when you start celebrating, like Salva Kiir is like now, glorifying Riek Machar or Riek Machar, we will do this or we will fight, we are all with the government. It's like telling you, I will help you to destroy your own people. So that is the game now being played here. What I want to say is that election will not take place, and if it happen, is like 2010, which is for government, of course, no problem about that. But if it is the election for the people, no, it will not happen in that nature. Yeah, the legacy. When we talk about the legacy, you cannot say somebody, do me a favor in December, and then I say thank you now. No, you say thank you for somebody when you executed the mission, right? And that become your legacy. So the legacy of what will give us a trust that election will take place as we want it is the legacy of tomorrow. Okay, and then that is what will give us the trust. If there is an institution that had been established already, as we talk already, and then that give us a hope the election is going. But if, as you said, Pal, 2018 until now nothing happened. Not 2018 actually, 2016 until now nothing happened. What is guaranteed that we're going to do the election in 2023? What is it? Is a dead thing already. So again, we don't hope for the bad thing for the Southern Sudan, but if the president is continuing to use a manipulation by what he's doing now, well, again, is arranging for another war, which we don't like. But it depends who will win here. We never know. They might go to Allah Walid, Awa.
Our
Walid
Walda.
بقولوا شنو.
Our Walda.
You never
Our
know,
Walda.
because that is a risky game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, yeah, thank you so much, guys. I know next time we will do better, our viewers, so we will do better. I promise you for 2 hours, but we went for 2 hours and 30 minutes. So next time we will do better. But I would like to thank you all our viewers. Please join us again. I can mention all the names that making comments on the comment bar here. Thank you so much, all of you, without mentioning your names. But I would like also for those who are here on the studio with me, I would like to thank them. Mabor Welkong, William Goldit, Jeremiah Abel Cohn, and Simon in the control there. And I would like also to say sorry for Chol Turbilyat that couldn't manage to log in. We were doing back and forth, but he didn't manage to log in. But I would like to say thank you so much and see you next time. And I will share with you a song, and I will wish you a great day, great morning, a great night, wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much and see you next time. Different topic. Thank you so much. I will
Thank,
share with you the
thank
song
you.
now.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
These are the South Sudan voices brought to you by Ruka Music. Oh na na na, mashaki gati dunia de, anagi kore selile rabuna, aula tena kulumendo baba, wabana tena waduru mama. Abuto mon mutu jado mon fikaba Julio mon fikore le asan kakali abuto mon gurita Okyade satu tu mama kole papa kyade Padate sambala panate Mayu sabi Bialde Padate sambala Aulade raba bigatakian Banade kulu talakasila Oh Kedeni na deresu yatanina Makili matarabuna Ashanyade Zatumenu baba Uweza mandangani tetabile tuweza
This is late Treasure C. Sorry for we lost her. Treasure C.
Mondaru salam Abuto mon mutu jado mon figaba Uluyo mon gikorile Wika wijin Wika wijan Meda tiamurantu Meda kankojoban Dode Badaton sambala Banade Main sabi Oh, iyante, Badaton sambala, banade, main sabi. I know that you woman and you not get up. Abuzatu, men get up. Mama, say mama. Last girl na zekiru the talent be. Me ando talent be bada be. Oh, kama telena zekiru be ya. Alsibu bilanga kita Ana asuma Tulubin maibu badun Ana asuma Tulubin bika tulubadun Wala bika Ana bibi uminwen Ya kwani Obie Muhaba bika Ana bibi uminwen Yale Yale, Derulomo Tapi, Yale, Derulomo Lucespa, Yale, Derulomo Madaris, Wala kili kuluma, Manu kuluma, Madaris kuluma, Udeya musali yaganina. Mama, Baba, yakaminginu, kami kapola. Musulia, ay, yande maliga musulia tabele tomande. Yande maliga musafala lakina fikira
Selika you need dedic attention. Selika you need meditation. None of them want cooperation. That's how we live in a relation. Just want to the world of peace. Everyone work together for peace. We need to live together with peace. Rasta man speak to the one about peace.
Y'all make to mind, Papa. Y'all make to mind, Mama. Abuto mon mutu jado mon kapa. mama, oh, I know Listen to the voices of South Sudan, brought to you by Ruka Music. Easy.
Good night.